There's this crazy hard truth that I learned years ago that improved the quality of my life. So I want to share it with you. Here's what it is. You might be having a conversation in your head with yourself that says, I don't like the money I'm making or what I'm doing. I want to make more money, but I want to do something that I love. I've spent so much time doing stuff that I hate and still not making the money that I want to make. I want to make great money and do something that I love. I don't want to do something just for the sake of money. Now, you might be the opposite. You might be like, I don't care what it is. If it makes a lot of money, I'll do it. I'll freaking sell my soul for money. And there are people that do that. There are people who make tons of money. They don't fulfill their life. This video's already gone. They don't fulfill their life's purpose at all. And they don't even care. They just care if they just get a whole bunch of money. And you know what everybody else says? You know what society tells them? Wow, you're a superhero. You're so smart. You're so great. You're such an achiever. You're outstanding. And you know what they say? Well, yes, I am, because I make a lot of money. I make so much money, it's because I'm a genius. I must be fulfilling my life's purpose. And look at all these people looking up to me. And because you make a lot of money, yeah, you know what? But if you don't spend time with the people that you love and you don't look them in the eyes and be present with them and even get them a card that says, thank you, I appreciate you. Since I make a lot of money, let me pay for lunch. Let me buy everybody dinner. And then act like I didn't do shit. There's fun things you can do when you make a lot of money. But the reason I'm saying this is because I have 5x'd my income. I don't know. It's steadily going up. And anyways, never mind. It's not about me. It's about you. Here's my point. If you say, I want to do something that I love and make money, I don't want to do that. I hate that. I don't want anything to do with that. That sucks. I don't want to learn how to do that just to make money. Here's the tough part. Where are you at right now? Are you doing something that you hate and not making the money that you want? Wouldn't it be a lot better to get, because you know what money creates? Options. If you do something that you don't like doing and you get good at it and you can make a lot more money, now you can make more money and have more options to do more of the stuff that you love to do, to invest in the things you always invest in, to give and create value for and contribute at a level that you dreamed of. It opens up doors. Kind of like Jordan Peterson said one time. He's talking about this Peter Pan syndrome thing. How it's like somebody, they don't want to grow up. They don't want to face responsibility. And it's okay because they're like, man, you're young, still figuring it out. That a person gets into their mid-20s, they still don't want to face responsibility. They don't want to conform to the system. And they still haven't figured it out. And people still give them, it's the benefit of a doubt, it's called. They say, well, maybe he's just a late bloomer. He just hasn't figured it out yet, but it's okay. He's still got time on his side. He'll figure it out. Then dude gets in his 30s and he still hasn't figured it out. And it's still like, let's say crying, being a victim, making people's lives difficult because you don't want to face the responsibility that there's a major part of life that just sucks. And you know what the good news is? It's across the board for everybody. And I remember, real quick, I want to interject real quick. People will lie to you. I remember having this conversation when I was in about 24. I was telling the owner of a landscape company I worked for. I spent too many years working for other people. And he was like, hey, everybody goes to work, right? You say you want to have your own business and all. Even if you do that, you got to get up and go to work. Look at me. I'm at work. We all get up and we all go to work. But there was something he wasn't telling me. He wasn't saying, look over at me in the passenger seat of the truck and be like, did you know for a very small amount of money and some ambition and awareness, you could go start your own landscaping business and say la vie to me? And you can go make like you could make 10 times. You can make unlimited amount of money compared to what you're making right now. He wasn't about to say that to me. So he was speaking out of the side of his mouth. Everybody goes to work. Now she keeps showing up and making me money. I appreciated the job, man. Any job that I had, any boss that was a landscape boss, man, shout out. I appreciate you because you helped me get through hard times when I needed money to pay my bills and pay my rent. And I showed up and I did a good job. Thank you. Some of them are my friends today. But anyways, so Jordan Peterson said this thing. He's like, if you're in your mid-30s and you still don't want to take responsibility, it's Peter Pan syndrome, right? You don't want to grow up. When you're in your 30s, there's no more excuses for you, and nobody cares. And they don't want to hear it because they're like, what have you been doing for the past 10 years? Get your act together. Be a contributor to society, right? It's like nobody cares anymore. And then if you get in your late 30s and you start to get in your 40s, I don't cast judgment on anybody, because you don't know what people have gone through or what they're going through. And that's the truth right there. You got to do the best you can with what you know how. Because I have met a lot of brothers and I get messages and comments and DMs from brothers and emails that are going through a lot of stress, and my heart goes out. So I'm not judging on anybody, right? I feel incredibly grateful. But here's my point in all this. If you do the hard thing and you go get around the successful people, let's say you want to learn how to do luxury outdoor living spaces, you want to learn how to build patios, or you want to take your business to the next level, you have to swallow your pride and stop looking at the law of attraction and abundance. How am I going to become a multimillionaire? By meditating. Matter of fact, I did sign up for one program a few years ago. It was a quantum coaching program, and it was kind of expensive. It actually reorganized my brain in terms of my worthiness, of what I believe I'm worth, and it helped me understand what I'm going to share with you right now. Some things are just structures. Oh, here's an example. Oh, wow, this thing's following me. It's the Osmo Pocket 3, if you were curious. I love this camera. This bottle of water is a structure. The bottle, the water inside, you can obviously drink it. I can look at this bottle of water and be so upset that the water isn't spilling out of it. But it doesn't care, because in third density physical form of consciousness, the way the atoms vibrate, the way this thing was engineered, and it all came from the way it's constructed, manufactured, someone invented this and they reiterated it many times. No matter how I feel about this, the water's not going to spill unless you're freaking like Superman and you can shoot lasers out of your eyes. Like, you have to physically take the cap off and pour the water out. Now, there is a different theory if you read Masaru Emoto, The Power of Water, and you study quantum physics and Deepak Chopra and all these different things, which you can change the molecular structure of the way the water is structured, and by your very thoughts and intentions, or the way you speak or vibrate, communicate, because your body's 90% water. So if you're happy and you're joyous and you're chasing your goals and you're grateful, the molecular structure changes. And also there's part of a vibration that's outside of physical consciousness that's affected as well. I'm not too educated on that. So there's that way you can have an effect. But what I'm talking about is the physical container is a structure, right? And it holds water, no matter how you feel. So in the business world, there are people who own businesses or have investments that are structures that they were very conscious about. They don't have a deep emotional attachment to it, like a dead-end job that they hate. or a service business that they need to work so bad. It's just a structure, and they build it and they set it up and they care and they're conscious, and it creates a result. It solves a problem. It fills a need, and it creates cash flow. It makes sense, and it creates cash for them to do other things. So my point is, what if you reduce the amount of emotional resistance? You say, no, you know what? Just for an example, you might love the idea of building patios and stuff. I'm going to meet with this guy, Cruz Lawn. Sorry, that's his proper name. You guys are brilliant. He's built like a luxury outdoor living space patio for like Greg Woodstock, the pond guy. He's meeting with my friend Steve DeHant from PMS Brick Pavers. I might go over and interview him today or tomorrow here. And but it got me thinking of that. It's like, you might love the idea of doing that because you could turn your art into life, and but you might hate the idea of doing that. Like I never cared about trimming ornamental trees. My friend William taught me how to do this, and it became the highest profit margin thing that we do. We can pull weeds and trim bushes and mow lawns all day and make $600, $700, $800 in revenue, or we can go trim a bunch of ornamental trees and do like $3,000-$4,000 in revenue. At like the profit margins are insane. Instead of making maybe $200 for the day net profit after all your expenses, you can make $1,200 profit in a day, right? By doing this stuff. So I was like, I love trimming trees because I can learn how to do it and I can make money. Now, obviously, you shouldn't just go trim trees unless you're learn how to properly trim them and prune them, and there's a whole nother story. But there's people that would argue that you shouldn't do anything unless your heart's on board and you're fully passionate about it and it's what you want to do and you want it to be a career. I think you got to do what you got to do to get to where you got to get and do the best with what you know at the time. Like if your dream is to eventually run some type of foundation that helps people on a grand scale, and it's a big nonprofit organization, what do you got to do now to get to that point? My long drawn out stories here.